Have you ever been in a room full of people where everyone was bigger than you, louder than you, and had more power than you? But you knew deep in your heart that something was wrong and you were the only one who is willing to say it? Well, once upon a real time in a big place called Nigeria, there was a woman named Natasha. She was smart, strong, and kind. She had worked hard all her life to help people and to become someone who could make real change. One day, she was chosen by the people to become a senator. That means she got to sit in a very important room where rules and decisions are made for the whole country. Now, in that room, most of the people were men, and many of them didn't always treat women with kindness or fairness. But Natasha didn't let that stop her. She stood tall, spoke up when she needed to, and fought for what was right. But then something happened, something that made Natasha very uncomfortable. It was December 8th, 2023. The leader of all the senators, a man named Akpabio, said something to Natasha that made her feel very hurt and unsafe. She didn't say anything that day, not yet, because sometimes when something bad happens, we freeze, we think, well, will they believe me? Will they blame me? Will they laugh at me? So Natasha kept quiet for a while, but the truth is like a balloon under water. You can push it down, but eventually it pops right back up. And that's what happened. Sometime later in February, Natasha finally stood up. She spoke into a microphone so that the whole world or the whole country could hear. She said, "This man made an inappropriate comment to me. It made me feel uncomfortable. It was wrong."
President, distinguished colleagues, I'm Senator Natasha Akpoti, and I stand to raise a petition under Order 40. A petition may only be presented to the Senate by a senator who shall affix his or her name at the beginning thereof. The petition is in my name against the President of the Nigerian Senate, His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, for sexual harassment, abuse of office, and malicious obstruction of my legislative functions. You may recall, sir, that on Friday in Arise TV, I did make some statements. And I have decided to narrow these statements in a formal petition against the President of this Senate. So if it may please you, I would humbly step forward and lay this petition. Thank you.
You may proceed. Distinguished colleagues, this petition is hereby referred to the Committee on Code of Conduct, Ethics, and Public Petitions to revert to the Senate as soon as practicable. Petition. Any other petition? Yes.
She was nervous, her voice was strong, but inside her heart, she might have been shaking. Because speaking up is scary, especially when the people you are speaking against is powerful. Especially when it's a man that everyone says you should respect. Now, when someone tells the truth, we would hope people say, "Thank you for being brave. Let's find out what really happened." But sadly, in the country called Nigeria, that's not always what happens. Instead of listening carefully and asking the right questions, many people, even other senators, started to laugh. They rolled their eyes, and the man she spoke about, Mr. Akpabio, made fun of her. He didn't even say, "I'm sorry." He didn't say, "Let's talk." He laughed right there in the Senate, on camera, in front of everyone.
Mr. President, we don't want it to be killed. We just want a bit of modification. We don't want the bill killed, but it should be slight modifications, sir. It's a necessary bill.
Distinguished Senator Natasha, in the chamber, you have to be recognized before you speak.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, we are not in a nightclub. Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those again say nay. Clark. What happened? They say
It was like someone getting hurt on the playground, and instead of helping them, the teacher tells them their shoes are funny. It hurt more than the first hurt. But Natasha didn't run away. She stood taller. She went back to work. She looked them all in the eyes and said, I will not be silenced. That means you can mock me. You can lie about me. You can try to scare me, but I will not, and I won't stop telling the truth. Wow, well, that made some people very uncomfortable because when a woman refuses to stay quiet, those who are used to control get nervous. So what did they do? They punished her. They suspended her from the Senate, which means they told her you can't come to work for a while.
Because a senator is receiving petitions from her or his constituents. But here, first time in the history of Nigeria, a senator is laying a sexual harassment petition seeking justice. When I submitted the petition on the 5th of March 2025, I was suspended the next day from the Nigerian Senate.
They said it was because she didn't sit in the right chair or didn't follow the rules of speaking. But many people knew the truth. They weren't punishing her for breaking the rules. They were punishing her for breaking silence.
The Senate say that you were suspended for, quote, gross misconduct and unruly behaviour, and not because you brought sexual harassment allegations against the Senate president. How would you respond to that?
When they say my suspension was as a result of gross misconduct, that is not true. We have seen senators shout, scream, use insultive words, fight, tear each other's clothes, but they were not suspended. So I believe also again that I am being victimized. My suspension is a means of silencing me. You see, in the Nigerian Senate, it operates like a cult. Even the opposition have been silenced. You wonder, why is the Nigerian Senate not as vibrant as that of South Africa's or Kenya? I mean, there are other parliaments we see. There is this culture of fear. The leadership, fear of the Senate president. I mean, if you confront the Senate president or if you express contrary views, yeah, you risk a chance of being stripped of your privileges.
Now, a little while later, when more and more people started talking and asking questions, Mr. Akpabio said something like an apology. But it wasn't a full I'm sorry. He didn't say I shouldn't have said that. He just said sorry for making the nightclub comment.
So, distinguished Senator Natasha, I want to apologize to you if you felt offended. If I had mentioned that we are not in the market, they will say I said you are a market woman. If I said that you were not in a nightclub where people shout above the noise of the music, they will say you went to nightclub. If I said you were not in a community meeting in the village, they will say Akpabio says Natasha is a village woman. For me, there is nothing I will say that will not be misunderstood. But the interest generated in the social media, people jumped in, shows that you have a lot of political enemies. It also shows that I do have enemies.
He never admitted he made her uncomfortable. He never truly admitted what happened that day in December. Still, that half apology meant something. It meant the pressure worked, that Natasha's voice made cracks in a wall that once looked unbreakable. This story isn't just about Natasha, and it isn't just about one man in a suit making bad decisions. This story is about how the world often treats women, especially when they are brave enough to say, this happened to me. Sometimes when girls speak up, people say, are you sure? Why now? What were you wearing? Maybe he didn't mean it, but we don't ask those questions to thieves or liars or bullies. Why do we ask them to survivors? I understand these days many girls makes you think otherwise, But not everyone is like that. I also understand one bad egg spoils the rest. But again, you need to investigate. You need to ask the appropriate questions. When we mock women who speak up, we teach little girls that being quiet is safer. We teach them that their feelings don't matter at all. And we teach little boys that they can get away with everything or anything if they laugh loud enough. But Natasha's story teaches something different. It teaches that it's okay to feel scared and speak anyway. It teaches that telling the truth matters, even when no one claps for you. And it shows us that one voice, one steady, stubborn, beautiful voice, can make even the most powerful person feel the heat of truth. The lesson? Always listen when someone says they are hurt. Don't rush to judge. Don't laugh. Don't shame. Just listen. And if you are the one who is hurting, please know this. You are not alone. There are people who believe you, people who will stand with you. People like Natasha, who prove that courage isn't about never being afraid. It's about speaking, even when your voice shakes. That's how we change the world, one voice at a time.